Hi everyone, I'm Tally, this is Farrell, and we are bored of it. And welcome to our review of Perspectives. And this is a game for between 2 and 6 players, and it's a cooperative deduction puzzle game in which you are maybe agents or police of some kind trying to solve a case. It's kind of similar to Sherlock Holmes' Consulting Detective in that you'll be kind of seeing things and sharing information with your teammates to help solve the case together.
Yeah, but the twist here is that the information is divided out amongst the players, so it's very visual. You get kind of hands of cards which have images on them, and you basically have to communicate what you have and find the links between these images and clues and solve the mystery. So there's kind of another layer besides just solving it. You actually have to communicate, which is rather interesting. And we were pretty excited to play this because we're big fans of one of the designers, Matthew Dunstan, and we haven't played everything he's done, but we really like what he does with his publishing company, Postmark Games, which do nice little roll and writes for £4. But one thing you should know before we go into this is, unlike the rest of our videos, this isn't going to have much or really any B-roll. That is because it is a purely visual game. So showing you any of the components would ruin the game, basically. Because if you see a card, then it's revealed something to you and you might not see that during your playthrough. So just be aware of that.
In the box, there are 3 cases to be solved and each one has 4 acts. And there's even a really nice tutorial using the box. In each act, 12 cards will be dealt out evenly amongst all of the players, and there'll be an overarching question that needs to be solved. These cards could have things on them like CCTV images, screenshots from a phone, an email, and things of this nature. And the players have to talk to each other about what they can see on the cards in front of them, make links about what happened in order to try and solve the case. So very much about communicating and describing and trying to get those links between the different cards. Then, once you think you've solved the case, you'll put the cards down and answer 4 questions about the case, and each one you get right, you get some points, so you total up how well you did.
Let's start off by saying that we found it to be a really nice addition to this genre of games and definitely a standout for us. It kind of grabs you from the word go because it's very quick, simple to set up, and actually the tutorial is quite cool because it's built into the box itself and the edges of the box, the inside of the box, and you kind of use that to get a quick example of how to play. And then you move on to the cases. After the tutorial, you get into the cases. And we had a great time with these. They're, to me, a perfect level of difficulty because everything's visual. It's less objective, you could say, than maybe Sherlock Holmes' Consulting Detective because the evidence is there and the solutions were all to us very logical. It never felt like you had got a case wrong or you couldn't get it because you just couldn't follow the designer's thought process, like is definitely the case in some of the Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective cases. No, it was always really logical. There was a very understandable thread, but it still had the ability to make you feel clever. And I think that comes from this really kind of novel, exciting mechanism of having to discuss what you can see. And it's always great fun when somebody stumbles on something in one of their cards that they kind of took for nothing, they're just describing, and then someone else is like, I have the exact thing that matches that and now I know what's going on. It provides a lot of aha moments.
What's also really great is all of the acts are pretty well balanced in terms of level of difficulty. There were never any that we were super stuck on or anything like that. The only one that is maybe a little bit more difficult is Act 4 in each of the cases, which is basically a kind of summing up and accumulation of everything that's come before it, because you use all of the cards in Acts 1, 2 and 3 to help you solve the questions for Act 4. And it's just very smart, very clever that a lot of the clues that you needed were kind of there all along. You could have maybe spotted them in the first 3 acts, but of course you didn't know that you were looking for them. So we just found this to be very smart and engaging. We really like the art style of Perspectives, both on the box, but also all of the components within and the cards that make up all of the cases, which is really engaging, which is of course critical in a game that is all about the visual. So that's definitely a big plus. One other thing that we really like is it also does away with quarterbacking, which obviously can be an issue in other games of this nature, where all of the information is maybe open to everyone, so one person can definitely kind of go off and lead the narrative a little bit. We also think this is a really terrific cooperative experience. It really encourages obviously a lot of table talk. That's the main kind of feature of the game. But it also encourages different ways of thinking. There were definitely times in our games where Farrell kind of got something straight away that I wasn't getting, and vice versa, where I was able to spot a link between things that he wasn't. So it's really nice to be able to see kind of different links and different patterns that different people can spot. And if we were to make a list of our top 10 favourite co-op games, we definitely think this would make the cut. It was a really, really great time.
There's only one negative that we have of Perspectives, and it's the same negative you'll always have in any type of detective kind of game like this, that there's no replay value whatsoever. And I think what's particularly sad here is there's only the 3 cases with 4 acts each, and each act is only about 20 minutes or so. So it's not even a lot of content for a long time, but sometimes it is better to have an excellently crafted experience, which this is, that doesn't overstay its welcome. You can always just pass it to a friend, and I'm sure they'll appreciate it because we appreciated our time with Perspectives. We had a great time, and we can't recommend it enough. So that was our review of Perspectives. We hope it was helpful. If you have any questions, please ask us. If you did find it helpful, please consider subscribing. And we will see you next time with another review. Thanks for watching. See ya.